Well, it's snowing in Mississippi, which is not a common occurrence down here. And on this snowy Mississippi Tuesday, we have another unboxing to perform. This is supposed to be about a 1947 Utah 78 RPM record player. Let's see if it survived the trip. Well, I see foam. That's a good sign. And they removed the platter to keep it from getting messed up in shipping, so this may be packed okay. Well, so far so good. Well, so far so good. Everything looks like it made it okay. I'll have to give this seller an A+ on their packing. You know, cosmetically, this thing is in remarkably good condition. It's a nice thing about eBay. You can usually get stuff off of eBay that's in better shape than the barn fresh crap that we find around here. Okay. This is branded Utah, which I believe this was actually made by Detrola. This is a 78 RPM only record player. Uses the flat metal crystal cartridge, which I'll try to convert to something more modern. Probably the reason this thing is in such good shape is because it was made around 46, 47, not long before the 33 RPM LP and the 45 RPM record was introduced. So when those newer formats came out, this thing probably got shoved in a closet, and that's where it sat for 60 years. Okay, let's open it up and see what we've got on the inside. First order of business is get the amplifier to work. Okay, we now have the Utah record player disassembled and the amp removed. And I've already cleaned the tube sockets and the volume and tone controls with this contact cleaner. This is a 3-tube amp, uses a 12AT6, 50B5, and a 35W4, so you know, this is not some wimpy little one-tube wonder job. Of course, it's not high-end either, but it could be worse. You know, as you can see, we have several capacitors that need to be replaced, and we'll do that right now. Okay, we now have all the capacitors replaced, and there was one resistor that was slightly out of tolerance, so I'll replace that as well. And as you can see, these newer capacitors are a lot smaller than in the originals, so we have a lot more room under the chassis now. Okay, I'm now ready to apply power and see if this amplifier will pass a signal. And we have power applied, and it's dead as a doornail. No tube filaments or nothing. Probably because we have an open tube filament. Well, apparently the problem was my test cord being a little flaky. As you can hear, we're passing a stout signal through this amp. Now we'll analyze the capacitors that came out of this amplifier. I knew an older gentleman back whenever I was a teenager that was into radio repair during the 40s through the early 70s, and he swore by these 40s era solar seal-tight paper capacitors. He said he'd never found a bad one. Now let's check this one for leakage on the capacitor tester. Now mind you, if it's good, the eye should close briefly and then open right back up as I increase the working voltage. And that's exactly what's happening. So this old 40s paper capacitor, as far as I'm concerned, is still 100% good. So maybe my friend was right about these seal-tight capacitors. And seal-tight capacitor number 2 is also good. Here's the 0.05 microfarad mica bomb that was wired across the AC line. I bet you it's going to be leaky. Let's see. Well, it's not as leaky as I anticipated it would be. It's leaking a little bit at 600 volts applied across it, but that's the best condition mica bomb cap that I've ever tested. Here's a .002 microfarad Chicago brand capacitor that still checks good. I must say, wherever this thing was stored must have been in a very dry location, because normally these old paper capacitors don't fare this well. A Sprague .001 that tests good. Well, I finally found one that's leaky. Can't make out the brand, but it says dual seal on it. It's a 0.1 microfarad. Let's bring the working voltage up. And even it's not as leaky as some I've tested, but it's leakier than a new one would be. Yep, so that one you could say is not in the best of shape. Now testing the electrolytic filter capacitor. Apparently it's wide open. You can see no eye movement as I rotate the bridge through its range. So yeah, the electrolytic's bad. Okay, it's getting a little bit chilly out here in the shop, and I've accomplished my goal for today, which is to get this amplifier working, which we have done. And in the next video, or maybe not the next video, but sometime in the near future, we'll tackle the record changer and hopefully have this thing spinning 78s pretty soon. Okay, thank you for watching, and if you've made it this far, you're to be commended.